The year is 1890. Imagine London, a city shrouded in fog and whispers. Gaslight flickers on cobblestone streets, casting long shadows. This is the London of Bram Stoker, teeming with life, yet haunted by unease. Stoker, a man of the theatre, knew the city's secrets. He managed the Lyceum Theatre, where fantasy and reality intertwined. Amidst the grand architecture, a darkness stirred. In this cauldron of change, Stoker found inspiration for Dracula. Dracula unfolds not as a straightforward narrative, but as a collection of fragments, diary entries, letters, telegrams, and even ship logs. This epistolary format, popular in Victorian literature, draws the reader into the heart of the story. We experience the horror through the eyes of those who lived it, feeling their fear, their confusion, and their desperate struggle for survival. Jonathan Harker, a young solicitor, journeys to Transylvania to meet with the mysterious Count Dracula. His diary entries paint a vivid picture of the Count's castle, a crumbling edifice shrouded in an atmosphere of dread. As Harker unravels the truth about his host, his entries become increasingly frantic, charting his descent into a nightmare. Through Mina Harker's letters to her friend Lucy, we witness the insidious spread of Dracula's influence. Mina, a modern woman, embraces technology, using a typewriter to transcribe the men's accounts, piecing together the puzzle of Dracula's movements. The epistolary format heightens the suspense as information is revealed in tantalizing fragments, leaving the reader to connect the dots. The characters in Dracula are a mix of the ordinary and the extraordinary, thrown together by fate in a desperate battle against darkness. Jonathan Harker, initially naive and unprepared for the horrors he encounters, becomes a symbol of courage and resilience. Mina, his fiancée, emerges as a beacon of strength and intelligence in a world dominated by men. Professor Abraham Van Helsing, the renowned vampire hunter, brings his vast knowledge of folklore and superstition to the fight against Dracula. He is the embodiment of reason battling against the forces of darkness, a scientist grappling with the supernatural. Lucy Westenra, Mina's friend, becomes a tragic victim of Dracula's lust, her transformation into a vampire, highlighting the seductive yet destructive nature of evil. The three men who love Lucy, Arthur Holmwood, John Seward and Quincy Morris, represent different facets of Victorian masculinity. They are bound by their love for Lucy and their determination to vanquish the evil that threatens their world. Dracula, the titular villain, is both alluring and terrifying. He embodies the fear of the foreign, the unknown, and the primal instincts that lurk beneath the surface of civilization. Jonathan Harker's journey to Transylvania marks the beginning of a nightmare. Trapped in Dracula's castle, he uncovers the truth about his host, a creature of the night sustained by the blood of the living. Dracula's escape to London, aboard a ghost ship with a dead crew, heralds a reign of terror that will grip the city. Lucy Westenra becomes Dracula's first victim in London. Her health deteriorates mysteriously, her symptoms baffling doctors. Van Helsing, recognizing the signs of vampirism, attempts to shield Lucy with garlic and crucifixes, but his efforts prove futile. Lucy's death and subsequent transformation into a vampire amplify the horror, demonstrating the insidious nature of Dracula's power. The chase is on as Van Helsing, Harker, and Lucy's suitors band together to hunt down Dracula. They pursue him through London's fog-choked streets and cemeteries, using both ancient law and modern technology to track their quarry. Their pursuit culminates in a climactic confrontation, a battle between good and evil that will determine the fate of them all. Section 5. The Bite of Symbolism, Unveiling Hidden Meanings. Dracula is a novel rich in symbolism, its themes resonating far beyond the confines of its Victorian setting. Dracula himself embodies the fear of the other, the outsider who threatens the established order. His foreignness, his aristocratic title, and his insatiable thirst for blood tap into anxieties about immigration, social upheaval, and the decline of British dominance. The act of vampirism, with its exchange of bodily fluids, carries strong sexual connotations, challenging the strict moral codes of Victorian society. Lucy's transformation into a voluptuous, predatory vampire reflects anxieties about female sexuality and the perceived threat of the new woman who dared to challenge traditional gender roles. The use of Christian symbols, crucifixes, holy water, communion wafers, highlights the battle between faith and reason that raged in the Victorian era. Van Helsing, a man of science, relies on both folklore and religious artifacts to combat Dracula, acknowledging the power of belief in a world grappling with scientific advancements. Section 6: An Empire's Tremors, Dracula and Victorian Anxieties. Dracula was published in 1897, a time when the British Empire, despite its outward strength, faced challenges from within and without. The rise of industrialism, the influx of immigrants from across the empire, and the emergence of new ideologies created a sense of unease among the British elite. Dracula's ability to move undetected through London, preying on its citizens, reflects anxieties about the permeability of British borders and the potential for invasion. The novel's emphasis on blood transfusions and blood-borne diseases taps into contemporary fears about contamination and the spread of disease, both literal and metaphorical. The fear of reverse colonization, the idea that the empire could be infiltrated and corrupted from within, is central to Dracula. The novel's depiction of aristocratic vampires preying on innocent victims reflects anxieties about the corrupting influence of foreign powers and the potential for moral decay within British society itself. Section 7: An Undying Legacy, Dracula's Influence on Popular Culture. Dracula has transcended its status as a Gothic novel to become a cultural phenomenon. The image of Dracula, with his slicked-back hair, piercing gaze and blood-red lips, is instantly recognizable worldwide, from Bela Lugosi's iconic portrayal in the 1931 film to countless reinterpretations in literature, film, and television. Dracula continues to fascinate and terrify audiences. The novel's themes of seduction, transgression, and the battle between good and evil have resonated with generations of readers and viewers. The vampire, once a figure of horror, has been romanticized and reimagined in popular culture, reflecting changing attitudes towards sexuality, morality, and the nature of evil itself. From Buffy the Vampire Slayer to Twilight, from Interview with the Vampire to True Blood, Dracula's influence can be seen in countless works of fiction. The vampire has become a metaphor for everything from forbidden desires to social alienation, from the AIDS crisis to the allure of immortality. Section 8: Forever in the Shadows, the Enduring Relevance of Dracula. More than a century after its publication, Dracula continues to captivate and disturb readers. Its themes of fear, desire, and the struggle for identity remain as relevant today as they were in Victorian England. The novel's exploration of the dark side of human nature, the seductive power of evil, and the fragility of civilization continues to resonate in a world grappling with its own demons. Dracula, the monster who refuses to die, serves as a reminder that some fears are timeless. He embodies the anxieties that haunt us in the shadows, the fear of the unknown, the allure of the forbidden, and the fragility of the barriers we erect to protect ourselves from the darkness within and without. In the end, Dracula is more than just a vampire story. It is a Gothic masterpiece that continues to cast a long shadow over our collective imagination, reminding us that the monsters we fear most may be closer than we think.